Hey guys, what's good? I am making a response video to Rudy's video or audio clip that he uploaded onto video, and where you're talking about a dream. Well, Rudy is talking about a dream he's had where his family kind of gets taken away, and and kind of some kind of authority or entity or whatever has taken over um, and established some rules that everybody's supposed to live by. And basically, Rudy's in technically he's there, but he's kind of like in defiance against whatever system has been presented before him. And if I remember correctly, you were looking for your wife and daughter, and so I mean, one could definitely break down and analyze the the meanings or potential meanings of all that of wandering about in the sewer, and and there's a whole lot of patterns and symbolism in that dream. Um, for now, I'm going to respond with a dream that I had a few days ago. So, and I know that y'all are gonna find this one. Um, I know that y'all are gonna find this one very interesting. So, so a few nights ago, I had a dream where I was in a group of people, um, and there was an established authority, just like in Rudy's dream. So there was a new something came in, just like in Rudy's dream. A new something came in, and um, and it wasn't alien. It was people. And the weird quality about this dream is that the dream felt like a dream. It seemed like a dream to some extent. Um, it was one of those dreams you wake up from and you're like, oh, that's a dream. During the dream, it didn't feel like I was in another reality, but there was sort of this unconscious awareness that this was not my real reality. So this was not the reality that I actually inhabit. And just all I knew, I didn't know anything about myself or who I was other than I am amongst these people. And it's almost like I got plopped into this reality, the dream. Um, I got plopped into this reality, and I I'm just there, right? And I'm taking it all in as if it's like I'm unaware. Like my brain has to assess what is going on, right? Um, my brain has to assess what's going on and figure out like what is happening. Um, like where am I? Why am I here? Like kind of like now I didn't consciously think this, but it was processing. It was processing in that moment. Almost like I got just dropped down into that reality and in the dream, and suddenly I'm just in front of like whoever these authorities were. I was in front of the leaders, and there were these factions, and this is just an awareness that I knew, right? Like, and they were talking about it, like they had just taken over, whoever these people were, and they were dividing everyone up into different factions. And suddenly, I was met in the beginning, very beginning, with these authorities telling me basically that I had to abandon my wife or my special other, and I had to choose to go to a certain faction, and if I did not go, I had to consciously and willfully cut out my special other or my wife or whoever it was. Like, I had to do that, and if I did not, that they were going to kill her. So I had to disavow her, not acknowledge her, and move on to my faction, and basically cut her off completely, right? And if I didn't, they were going to kill her or something. I guess maybe possibly me. So, and I remember, it's almost like this dream was like being plopped down into a storyline and some kind of timeline, some kind of scene where and within just a few seconds, I had just a few seconds to process what was going on, and apparently it was kind of like not a shock, but like I didn't even know I had a partner. I didn't know I had a wife or something. And at some point in the dream, I kind of look over at her to look and see what she looks like. You know, I didn't even know who she was. like I was in somebody else's reality, kind of. And I mean, one could argue maybe consciousness is just like traveling through, in this instance, you know, just traveling through, having a look what's going on in this reality, you know. But I remember verbally disavowing her and severing ties with her forever, and saying that I sever ties with her, like, and then I'm gonna choose my faction, not because I wanted to, but because I was trying to save her life, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna figure out a way to get back to her, right, and reunite us back together, even though, like I said, I didn't even know who this lady was. She was that pretty, she had dirty blonde hair, my age, about my age, maybe in her 30s, something like that. And when I looked at her, she didn't look at me, and I kind of glanced at her because I didn't want any kind of repercussions. And I just remember having this knowing that there's really nothing I can do about this. And that's all I remember. And the only thing I remember is, like, I'm going to figure out a way to get back to her. And that, in this dream, I didn't even know who she was, like I said. But apparently, she and I are a couple, an actual, like, connected couple who know each other, who love each other, and know about each other. Except in that dream, I had no idea who she was, right? And I just remember these authority figures saying, here's how we're going to establish this order, and this is how it's going to work. And I was and part of my brain was trying to make sense of why would they even do that, you know. But so but I remember standing in front of the people, consciously saying or making the decision, yep, yeah, she's gone, she's nobody to me, basically. And then low key, I was secretly, like, plotting to feel, almost like I said a moment ago, like I just suddenly plopped down into some other person's reality, and I'm living through their consciousness. Maybe it wasn't even me. Maybe it was my consciousness, you know, dropped into another reality and seeing what was happening in that person, and then I woke up, right? And maybe when I woke up, that's when I left that reality. You know, I don't know. And I think that is a highly interesting dream that Rudy had, because it has a very similar vein, a very highly similar pattern, and it just makes you wonder if there, you know, potentially energetically at some level, there's some kind of hierarchical restructuring going on by some form of higher consciousnesses that are aware of us and our reality, and these are kind of like whispers and imprints or wisps of knowing what's going on. Or hypothetically, let's say that we are in a machine, and we're hearing what's going on. Our ears are hearing it, but our bodies are transmitting it. Our bodies are, like, we're physically hearing it in the quote unquote real world, but our we hear these rumblings. We hear about these things happening. Maybe there's like a war going on, and our unconscious is interpreting what we're physically hearing through these dreams that we're having. So maybe some kind of restructuring is actually taking place in the real world, and these are the imprints of it. I don't know. That's just something to throw out there and to consider. Anyways, I thought that was really interesting that these two dreams, days within each other, have such clear patterns, clear structures, like along the same veins or the same tunnels, or you know, blueprints, or whatever word you want to place there to describe. And that's insane. That's pretty wild.